Singapore ground, good evening. Singapore 944, request IFR clearance to Despensar, Bali. We're Bay Alpha 10 and we have information Delta on board.
Singapore 944, Singapore delivery information Delta is correct. For less delay, are you able to accept flight level 390?
I'll be aviation for Singapore 944.
Singapore 944 cleared to Bali, Edwood 1 Alpha departure. Expect flight level 390, squawk 0120.
Alright, Edwood 1 Alpha departure, flight level 390 and we'll squawk 0120 for Singapore 944.
Singapore 944, read back correct. Contact Singapore ground 124.3.
And that'll be Singapore ground 124.3 for Singapore 944. Good day. Singapore ground, good evening. Singapore 944 at Bay Alpha 10. Request push and start.
Singapore 944, Singapore ground, very good evening. Pushback approved, face south.
Pushback approved, face south for Singapore 944. Singapore ground, Singapore 944, request taxi.
Singapore 944, taxi Victor Romeo, hold short Romeo 7.
Road taxi Victor Romeo and we hold short of Romeo 7 for Singapore 944. Singapore ground, Singapore 944, holding short Romeo 7.
Singapore 944, contact Singapore ground on 121.725, bye bye.
We'll go to ground on 121.725. Good day. Singapore 944. Singapore ground, good evening. Singapore 944, holding short of Romeo 7.
Cross transmission, Singapore 944, taxi Romeo, Tango, holding point, Tango 12, runway 02 center.
Road taxi Romeo, Tango, and holding point Tango 12 on 02 center, Singapore 944.
Singapore 944, contact Singapore Tower 118.6, enjoy your flight.
118.6 for Singapore 944. Have a good day to you. Good night.
Good night.
Singapore Tower, good evening. Singapore 944 taxiing to holding point Tango 12 for 02 center.
Singapore 944, Singapore Tower, good evening. Runway 02 center, line up via Tango 12.
Line up via Tango 12, Singapore 944. Take a flight.
Singapore 944, surface winds light and variable. Climb to 3,000 feet, runway 02 center, clear for takeoff.
Initial climb 3000. Runway 02 center, clear for takeoff, Singapore 944.
Traffic.
Singapore 944, contact Singapore approach 124.6, bye bye.
Singapore approach on 124.6. Good night, Singapore 944. Singapore approach, good evening. Climbing 3000, Singapore 944.
Singapore 944, Singapore approach, good evening, identified. Climb flight level 150, unrestricted.
Unrestricted climb to flight level 150, Singapore 944.
Singapore 944, contact Singapore radar 123.7, good day.
Singapore radar 123.7. Good day, Singapore 944. Good night. Singapore radar, good evening. Singapore 944, climbing flight level 150.
Singapore 944, Singapore radar, good evening. Climb to flight level 310.
Climb level, flight level 310 for Singapore 944. Good evening.
Singapore 944, contact Jakarta control 132.15, good night.
123.15 Singapore 944. Good night to you too. Jakarta control Singapore 944, climbing flight level 310.
Singapore 944, Jakarta, this Jakarta radar, climb to flight level 390.
Apologies, we'll climb flight level 390 for Singapore 944. Jakarta radar, Singapore 944, request out of cockpit, reason to get some ice cream.
Singapore 944, roger, and can you give me an estimate of how long are you going to be away?
5 minutes. Singapore 944.
944 approved, report to next.
Singapore 944, contact Ujung 134.25.
Contact Ujung number 134.25. Goodbye, Singapore 944.
See ya.
Ujung radar, Singapore 944, flight level 390.
Singapore 944, hello, identified, maintain level 390.
We'll maintain flight level 390, Singapore 944.
Singapore 944, arrival clearance.
Go ahead.
Singapore 944, expect for RNP approach runway 09er, Udono 1 Alpha arrival.
I expect you're doing a 1 Alpha arrival for this one, sir. Singapore 944.
Singapore 944, thank you, read back correct. Singapore 944, same number.
Mach number 0.82.
Singapore 944, thank you, reduce decimal 80.
Reduce decimal 80. Singapore 944.
Singapore 944, reduce speed decimal 78.
Reduce Mach decimal 78 for Singapore 944.
Singapore 944, contact Bali radar on 119 or decimal 3.
Contact Bali radar 119.3. Good night, Singapore 944.
Good night.
Bali radar Singapore 944. This at flight level 260.
Singapore 944 Bali radar hello identified. Descend via the star. Flight level 130 and reduce speed 250 knots.
Descend via star, flight level 130 and descend speed 250 knots. Singapore 944.
Singapore 944 very sorry. Turn right heading 170 and resume normal speed.
Right heading 170 and we'll keep our normal speed for Singapore 944.
Singapore 944 descend 8,000 feet.
Descend 8,000, Singapore 944.
Singapore 944 contact arrival 119 decimal 7. Good day.
Contact arrival 119.7. Good night, Singapore 944. Bali arrival, Singapore 944, descending 8,000.
Singapore 944 hello. Continue descend 7,000 feet, QNH 1008 and maintain present heading.
Descend 7,000, QNH 1008 and we'll maintain our present heading for Singapore 944.
Singapore 944, turn right heading 190.
Turn right heading 190, Singapore 944.
Singapore 944, turn left heading 140.
Left heading 140, Singapore 944. Cabin is ready.
Singapore 944, launcher, proceed direct to star and continue normal speed.
Proceed direct to if I've done this.
Singapore 944, continue descend 4,000 feet.
Continue descend 4,000, Singapore 944.
Singapore 944, reduce speed 200 knots.
Reduce 200 knots, Singapore 944.
Singapore 944, clear for the RMP approach, runway 09. Report established final call.
We're clear for the RMP 09er. Can you say the last part again first? Singapore 944.
Report established final call.
We'll report when established, Singapore 944.
Singapore 944 with speed 180 under 6 mile final.
Reduce speed 180 till 6 mile final, Singapore 944. We're fully established, Singapore 944.
Singapore 944 tower 118.1 good day.
118.1, good day, good night, Singapore 944. Bali Decimal Tower, Singapore 944, RMP 09er.
Singapore 944, continue approach from VATSIM, wind is 0406 knots, continue and 160 knots until 6 miles.
160 for 6 miles and we'll continue approach to Singapore 944.
Singapore 944, contact, question, Singapore 944, clear to land runway 09er.
Clear to land, runway 09er, Singapore 944. Guys, it's living. Actually, I'll keep the autopilot on. Just kidding. Autopilot off. My controls. Perfect.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Departure
Continue.
Tower, Scooter 284, RMT runway 09.
Scooter 284, continue approach runway 09er, 180 knots until 8 miles, 160 knots until 6 miles.
Continue approach runway 09, 180 until 8
Up.
and 160
To
until
reverse, reverse great. Use out.
Dubai Tower.
Alright, 60 knots, manual braking, reverse thrust disengaged.
Singapore 944, contact ground 118.8.
Ground at 118.8, see ya.
Here.
Ground, hello, Singapore 944, vacated via November 3.
Singapore 944, Nugara ground, good evening. Taxi via taxiway November Papa to gate Alpha 25 for Singapore 944.
Real taxi via November Papa, Alpha 25 is our gate for today. Singapore 944.